All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Market. You are actually with me, Che Yusuf. So yeah, it's another week in terms of the market analysis of the week and how the market is looking, and in terms of also how the fundamental news of the week they are actually up to. So yeah, we're gonna go in terms of that, in terms of the market analysis, a little bit of market analysis, and as well as the fundamental news. But for now, we have to actually recap what happened, from last week. So last week has been really interesting week because there was a CPI consumer price index that comes from United States. That was last week. Again, there was producer price index that comes from US as well last week. So we saw, like for example, US June producer price index rises to 2.6 year to year. Estimated was 2.3%. So actually it's surpassing the estimation numbers. So that's good in terms of how the Federal Reserve were expecting in terms of the soft landing, right? So when it comes also to producer price index, consumer price index, which is CPI. Again, it also surpassed the estimation numbers. The CPI rises 3.3% year to year, estimation of 3.4. So not that bad. Estimation was 3.4, but they landed at 3.3. So just a difference with the percent. So not that bad. Again, last week there was also a jobless claim of 222,000 in July. In the 6 weeks, estimated 235k. So they get 222, estimated 235. Not that bad as well. So it shows that the soft landing that the Federal Reserve was actually been speaking about is been going on. So again, the same last week, there was Monday, Tuesday, where there was a president, the Federal Reserve President Jeremy Powell testifying, and the members of the House. It was a 2 days event. All these they give him questions and he had to answer those questions. But again, he's sticking that maybe the interest rate they will start cutting the interest rate talking about around September. Yeah. September they might start cutting the interest rate. It was really crazy week when it comes to last week, moving all the way to the weekend. Now the market actually, because of beginning of the week, the month, the market were driven by the AIs and the technology companies. But coming on this week, where there was a lot of reports about the Federal Reserve or report about fiscals, then the market change and being traded based on the Federal Reserve about the interest rate, right? They traded it for a couple of days, all the way to the weekend. Now, come on the weekend, something happened. Come on the weekend, we saw the market getting on Monday of this week. We saw the market actually changing in terms of trading behavior. They were trading based on what the results of the Federal. Last week they were trading based on the technology companies and so on. We're expecting this week to be traded based on the earnings that they're going to come from the banks, the companies, and so on and so forth, because there's also a lineup of earnings that they're going to come to report this week as well. But changes on a weekend where former president of the United States Donald Trump actually have an attempt in terms of the assassination attempt. There was someone on the roof trying to shoot the president, and then the Secret Service come and actually cover him, and that person he got shooted by also snipers that they were on a roof. So from that perspective only, because of they were trying to remove the person who's competing in the presidency, a lot of bigger companies we saw they started to turn around and say they're gonna favor Trump. So yeah, we saw companies like the owner of Tesla, Elon Musk, posted on X saying that they're gonna now be able to start donating their money or funding the Trump's campaign. So there was actually big companies, two of them, that they're being announced because of this scenario. And again, there was a lot of things that are actually being blamed. Americans, they're blaming the Secret Service, that the Secret Service, they didn't do the job. They didn't actually push the perimeters so that they can be able to see what is actually coming. Again, another crazy story is that the person who were actually shooting uh, President Trump, he was actually 445 meter 450 less than 450 meters away from the president. So it's crazy, to see like someone that close while there's a Secret Service around that. So we were listening to the guys, the head of Secret Service explaining themselves yesterday through the Bloomberg, and yeah, but since coming on Monday, the trade has actually, changed. Before I forget that, there was actually, a crazy iconic picture. I call it iconic picture of the year, iconic picture of 2024. Trust me, there's no any other iconic picture of this. When Trump actually, after trying to, show people that I'm Mandela, Viva, So I'm gonna try put it up that picture as well so that everyone can be able to check it out. But coming on Monday, the market has changed. Now there's a new term in the market. It's called Trump trading. It's called trading. It's called what? Trump trades, right? Starting from Monday, they're talking about the Trump trade. Now, what are these Trump trade? What exactly are they trying to trade? Are they trading stocks from Trump? Or are they trading because of he wanted to get short? No, they are actually, people now change. They're trading based on the policies of Donald Trump, that when you become a president, these are the policies that they're going to introduce. The policies, the border policies, the GDP policies. So the analysts and the economists, what they are doing, they're looking at what he's being saying and what his policies being implemented when he was a president, and to say that okay, a dollar, it might be strength based on the policies that when this guy come in, he's going to implement these policies. Now what we have to do, we need maybe to bullish the dollar, or maybe to bullish the indices, or maybe to bearish the safe haven of the instrument. So that's what is being called Trump trade. But again, we're going to learn bit by bit and trying to understand what's going on in terms of how the Trump trade of this week is being performing. But anyway, let's get in to check how the market events of this week they're going to look like. All right. So here's how the market is look like in terms of the fundamental events of the week. Moving on Monday, July the 15th, there's a bank holiday from Japan. So Japanese yen is not going to have the movement there. But 4 a.m. in the Sydney session, we're seeing GDP coming from China, high impact volatility there that we're expecting from Chinese instrument like CN50, Hong Kong 50, and all those correlated instruments. Later on, there's Empire State Manufacturing 2:30 p.m. from US, and again we're seeing the Federal Chair Power speaking around 6:30 p.m. That will be Monday. Moving on Tuesday, July the 16th, the big one, 2:30 p.m. This Canadian CPI Consumer Price Index from Canada. We're expecting high movement there from Canadian dollar and all correlated instrument to Canadian dollar as well. All the way moving on for 2:30, we are seeing core retail sales from US, expecting movement for a dollar there, high impact, including Nasdaq, US30, S&P 500, as we see that has been going all the way up and up and up. Moving on Wednesday, there's a CPI from New Zealand. Again, the New Zealand dollar is going to have high impact volatility. 8 a.m., there's a Great British Pound CPI Consumer Price Index. We are expecting also high movement there from Great British Pounds and all correlated, maybe including German 30. You can also include like UK 100, which is FTSE 100. On Thursday, there's employment change from Australian dollar 3:30 a.m. Expecting high movement there from Australian dollar and all correlated instrument. 2:15 p.m. there's a main refinancing rate from Europe. Monetary policy also coming from Europe. So this is a week of monetary monetary policy of European Central Bank. So we're gonna hear from President Jesse and see how it's gonna roll up on that. 2:30 p.m. There's an employment claim from US on Thursday. Again, 2:45. The European Central Bank press conference. This is what we're talking about. That we're gonna wait for Madam Jess to see what she's going to say. Going on Friday, there's a German PPI producer price index 8 a.m. We're seeing retail sales coming from Great British Pounds 8 a.m. as well. So high movement there from German 30, all euro correlated instrument FTSE 100, and all instrument correlated to a GBP. Okay, on 2:30 p.m. there's a core retail sales that is coming again. Retail sales from month to month from Canada. High impact volatility there that we're expecting coming from Canadian dollar. So that's exactly how actually the week it's looked like. But just to add in terms of other diary, it looks like, because these are actually the fundamentals, but there's a different diaries that the trading diary we are seeing. Was for Monday, but I do have the trading diary. Okay, so again this week there's earnings. It's earnings week. So Monday we are seeing companies like Blueberry reporting the earnings. Tuesday, Bank of America, they're reporting the earnings as well. Wednesday we are seeing companies like Asma from Europe earnings. UK King's speech on Wednesday as well. Thursday, that's where we are seeing European Central Bank Madam Jessie speaking, and again TSMC earnings as well coming. Friday, Japanese inflation. Japanese Central Bank is gonna have inflation as well, inflation rate announcement. Again, we are seeing Netflix earnings that are coming from Japan, that are coming from this week, Friday. But yeah, that's it about high impact volatility news that are coming this week. Maybe we should jump into the market itself and see how the. It's the quick analysis in terms of how the market look like, and again we're going to the bigger time frame. We can see how actually US30 has actually moved. US30, it's actually sitting on 40,318. I mean, who would expect that every time when the market goes up, it looks like it's gonna retrace down, but something happened, it continues, goes all the way up. So who am I to predict that the market is gonna go down, while we are actually, on a bearish movement? But just because there's not much in terms of high impact this week, so I might actually, also predict that there will be a retracement. So I'm not saying that it's a change of the movement, but it's just a retracement that the market can be able to push the price all the way to these levels. To be specific, maybe let's put it here. All right. So the market will try maybe not to go below 40,000, or if it has to go, it has to get to 39,700, 39,800, somewhere around there, so that the following week it can actually clearly recover again and start with a bearishing, continues all the way up until the Federal Reserve start deciding to cut rates. So we can see US30, Nasdaq again still performing at the highest point it's been from 20,800. It's actually preparing to get to 21,000 anytime soon. NAS100 can get to 21,000 once, the week are going, more news are coming, the Federal Reserve report are coming. We might end up getting to 21,000 in terms of Nasdaq, which is also the all-time high. It's never been there, so we are anticipating to see how the market is going to react. But for today, it might play around in this range, from this range of 20,150, 51, and 20,529. So a drop to 20,100, picking up, goes back again to 20,500 until maybe something happen, a big news happening, then it can break and goes all the way to 20,700. Maybe that's where the market will close by the end of the week, this level. But it has to go down, bounce here, go up, hit to this level, and close the market here on Friday. So that's US30 as well as NAS100. We can look at gold again. It's been pushing up, goes all the way to 2,435. Do we? Am I expecting gold to come back all the way to maybe 2,300? I don't think so. I think it's clearly just a retracement that will happen here. So God just want to catch to this level. Once it get to this level, it might come back maybe to here. Right? They might come back and close at this level. So it might goes all the way up, hit 2,437 and pushes the price all the way back again here. Then it might breaks if the dollar index is not gonna perform anything. Of course, there's no much in terms of news that are coming. So the market will depend on the earnings that are going to come for this week. So maybe it might breaks goes to 2,400, but again from next week we'll see again gold starting rallying all the way up. Bitcoin, we talked about Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago. Look at how it's been. It was on 56,000, 57,000 at this level, but because of everything that is happening with the Trump, we see Bitcoin starting picking up all the way to 65,131. Where do we think it will retrace? It's a very technical trade, this one. Very technical. Very technical. So probably it might actually go back to where it is, right? It might maybe pushes to 62,000 and now start crawling all the way back to where the market it was, which is 64,800. To those who trade Bitcoin, they're actually gaining from this instrument if you're actually participating on the market. So yeah, there's a couple of things that you can check it out for yourself in the market, but I've already give you the guidance in terms of how the market was looking last week, again how the fundamental events are coming this week, so you can just take it up from there and actually start trade or learn something from it. So thank you very much for watching this analysis, and then